We haven't done this in a little while, but I wanted to take a look at this because it may be interesting. I stumbled across this little video. It's called The True Weakness of Men. So I guess we're going to learn about what really makes men weak. Many people have many opinions about what makes men weak, but in all reality, there's only the one truth about the gynocentric, pussy-whipped, hypergamy, beta bucks, incel killing world that we live in. And I think this guy's gonna tell us about what's going on. So I want to figure it out. I don't know. I may agree with this video. Who knows? I guess we'll find out, right? Is that a monkey on a phone?
I bet most of you have heard the oft-repeated meme online, usually from right-wing circles. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
So true.
Now this ultimately comes from a novel called Those Who Remain. It's a post-apocalyptic novel by a guy called Michael Hopf, and you'll hear it repeated very frequently. And then of course you have the whole crowd of Andrew Tate acolytes and his ilk, and weak men, weak men. But I want to talk about what actually makes men weak in this video.
Hit me.
As compared to women, and just in a broad sense. Because a lot of the memes you hear online are only partially accurate. And there are two major components to men's weakness. The first component is a rather obvious one, and you see it manifested pretty much everywhere. For example,
it's obviously that you're scared of wearing a midriff in summer. That's what I think is really making men weak, is the fact that we don't consider wearing a midriff in summer these days. We allowed women to take the midriff from us and convince us that it isn't manly to wear a midriff, when in all actuality, it is the most masculine thing to wear a midriff, to show your tummy. Boy tummy. Fear of the tummy revealed. True!
you see it manifested in the Simpian epidemic. Whereas the
Simpian? Oh my gosh, it has tenses now? I didn't know the word simp had tenses now. Or participles? Simpian. It is a Simpian epidemic.
Epidemic come from? It comes from the concept of
symbology.
The small head taking over the big head.
Okay.
I.e. thinking with your schlong as opposed to your brain. And you have no idea of the countless events and accidents that have occurred during the course of humanity due to this extreme limitation that men have.
This is true. I've seen this in a meme before. It was a guy walking in a dark forest, and the caption was, my dick's taking me to places I wouldn't go with a gun. And I was like, so true, buddy. I too get horny sometimes. And honestly, I can't deny it. He's right. He's right. We've all been there. So true and real and factual.
Thinking with their little head as opposed to their big head.
Well, personally, I don't know about you guys, but I got two big heads.
Now, there's a lot of variation between individual men in this regard, and age also plays a huge factor. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
But in general, this type of thinking can lead to absolute catastrophe. Because although sex drive and the need to boink has driven a lot of innovation, a lot of accomplishment, achievement, because the vast majority of men...
Personally, I don't like to say boink. I like to say Yahoo. Whoopee is another one. Maybe even a little bit of humana. That's one as well. Awooga. I'll take that one. Boink is, I don't know. It's kind of... I'm just not feeling it. Chess. Yeah, we can play chess. That is true. We can play some chess. We're up, having a great time. Go on a little date. Come back home. Have some fun, play some chess. You know how it is. You know how dogs is and all that. My thing is, what is simping, right? Because I feel like in these conversations, I'm genuinely, I only say simping as like a meme, but I actually don't know what the word simping means, honestly. Because the original term for simping is when you're like doing too much for a girl who does not deserve your attention. But like people don't really use the word simping like that anymore. It's actually like much different. Simping is when you're a straight man in a relationship, but it's not even like in a relationship. It's like, it's when you are nice. It's like simping is when you're a man and you're nice to women. It's like you're not actively being mean towards women. It just seems like that's what simping really is, and it's crazy. Simping's when you see a woman. I mean, at this point, I'd believe it.
A lot of accomplishment, achievement, because the vast majority of men, when they create wealth, when they build things, they're ultimately doing that for the sake of punani, ultimately, for the sake of the reproductive game. But if you don't have control over that.
What? I'd wonder how he would want to try to justify that opinion. Would he say that, well, you get your life together, so like one of the reasons why you put your life together and you have things is so you can have a nice relationship with a girl one day? I mean, like, I would imagine that's like a big part of it. I think a lot of people do that because they don't want to be poor and they want to buy things, you know? But I would imagine, like, definitely as you get older, sure, like a relationship would be more important, but I don't know, I just think it's really weird to be like, oh yeah. We do all these things for pussy, and that's basically it. I don't think that's true. I don't know. I guess I can't speak for like literally every single guy, but like, I don't know. I think a lot of guys do a lot of things because they're like cool or fun or interesting or they want money, and not necessarily just because pussy.
That faculty, it can quite literally lead you to ruination, and at the very least, lead you astray. Years and years and years ago, when I had my first girlfriend,
pussy,
19,
I'm being ruined
lost
by
my
pussy.
virginity to her. And I've told this story many times. Maybe this will be a new story for you, but I was very much young, very much in the prime of my youth, so I was thinking a lot with my little head and very little with my big head.
Okay.
This girl had gigantic zonkas.
What is this video? Is this a meme? I actually can't tell. I don't think this is a meme. I don't think this is a meme. I think bro is 100% serious. I think he's straight up like, okay, wait, no, let's hear him out.
They were practically H cups. They were just huge, maybe double G, I don't know. They were enormous. They were just huge. And very little with my big head. This girl had gigantic zonkas.
So true. Real. I'd throw my life away for a girl with gigantic zonkas as well.
They were practically H cups. They were just huge, maybe double G, I don't know.
She had massive gazonkas. She had bonhangalungas. Okay, what I'm talking about is she had the bongaloos. It was crazy.
They were enormous. And she cooked really well, which was an added benefit. But she sucked the meanest schlong I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Okay.
Bar none. Since then, never again. She was the best bang I ever had in my entire life.
Her pussy was fire. Her tits were huge. She couldn't cook, but she was pretty. And she slobbed on. She would like, girl could suck an Abrams tank through the girl could suck an Abrams tank through the head of a needle. I'll tell you what. My dick almost prolapsed. This girl was something else. I'll tell you. This is fake. It has to be. It's not fake. It's real. He's telling a real story.
But she was nuts, abusive verbally, and even sometimes physically.
Good Lord.
She would throw things at me. She threatened to chop off my pee-pee once.
Pee-pee, no, not the pee-pee chopper.
And when I finally broke up with her on a phone, she drove across 3 countries to reach me and try to batter down my door. And
3 countries? Wait, where do you live? She drove. Bro does not live in America unless you're talking about her living in like China or something, and then she drove through like Russia, and then drove through like, and then her shit turned into like in aquatic mobile, and then went through like the tip of Russia to the tip of Alaska, and then drove through Canada, and then back towards him in South Cincinnati or wherever he is. I don't know. I don't know, unless like this girl was like Brazilian or something. She's like El Salvadorian. I don't know. Maybe, I guess.
Try to seduce me, which she was successful with, by the way.
Huh?
It took a long time for me to wean myself off of the copulation with her. Because, yeah, I just thought, oh my God, it's so good.
He was trapped in the copulation station.
I'll never be able to boink like this again. Oh my God, those gazonkas are so big.
These have to. This is a fake. This is really. Yeah, this is a great video. I honestly, we should start making videos like this. The Gazankas, the Bonhangalungas, they're absolutely massive. They're perfect. I can't blink a doink. I can't whoopee yahoo like this anymore. I have to stay here. Nah, he's trolling. I don't, because here's the thing the only thing that's throwing me off, okay, is the fact that the one and only thing that's throwing me off here that makes me think that this might not be a meme is the fact that that some of these content creators do actually say stuff like this to be able to get away from getting demonetized. And so I've actually heard real like accounts who actually talk about this stuff seriously say stuff like this because they don't want to get hit with copyright.
They're so perfect. I'll never get to feel those gazankas again. This 19 to 21-year-old version of myself.
You stayed with this girl for 3 years?
Of thinking with your little head as opposed to your big head.
Okay.
And of course, it's much more common when you're young. And that's what I was doing. My first relationship, first boinking experience, first BJ, you name it. And I just thought, by the gods, I'll never experience this again. Long story short, she eventually, despite being on the pill and us occasionally using condoms, got pregnant, allegedly.
No!
And she tried to entrap me, supposedly. Turned out she had, again, allegedly a miscarriage, but she claimed she was pregnant and blah, 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 and I was the father and blah, blah, blah. And who knows? This girl, absolutely bonkers. But hey, she could cook a mean meal, and she sucked the meanest pee-pee I've ever experienced in my entire life.
It is true. I'd get my ass beat all day for 3 years if the pee-pee sucky and the bonhangalungas were hitting, you know? The the chicken parm she made hitting, the pussy gripping, and honestly our boy was quite smitten with this girl and he just couldn't escape the abusive relationship. The pee-pee sucka was just, it was too much. It was too much. I feel you, brother. You're just like me, for real.
But yeah, that's what happens. I wasn't really fundamentally different, especially when it's your first experience. So I can kind of relate on some level to some of these simps, although I never did anything like that, because you have no contact with the opposite sex. You're just really, really horny, and you allow that horniness to redirect you. And honestly, I don't think all these successful entrepreneurs, these successful people, these successful men are necessarily redirecting that horny energy. I don't think they're ultimately thinking with their big head as opposed to their little head. Why? Because the reason why they're doing everything they're doing is ultimately for the sake of punani, reproduction, the accolades, the status, which men require in order to stand out towards the outside world, i.e. women.
Well, you could just like, okay, well, sure, I guess. Well, I mean, he's kind of getting there. He's kind of getting there. It is true that the problem with a lot of these guys is that they're just doing stuff. They're doing all this stuff simply just for women and not to like improve your own life. Their lives are just like, even though they try and say that the world revolves around the women and their opinions, they literally run their lives based on like women's opinions of them, and they don't live for themselves. They live to try to have a girl want to have sex with them, and that's like the only real thing. It's kind of right. He's getting that at in a weird angle, but I mean, he's kind of right.
So what a lot of these gurus and high achievers do on the basis of instincts.
I wouldn't say all the high achievers. A lot of them just kind of like doing things.
They're not really thinking clearly. They're not really thinking with their big head. They're still at some very primal level being directed by their little head. But you know what's an even bigger weakness in men?
What?
Compared to the big head, little head dilemma. It's not what you think. It's the fact that as a polar opposite to women, basically.
Okay.
There is a brotherhood at a local microscopic level, meaning your friends.
Anybody up with a micro brotherhood?
Cooperate with them, you help them out, etc., which is the exact opposite with women. Women don't get along with each other at the local level, at the microscopic level. There was catfighting, trying to...
I'm not sure if this is true because women go to the bathroom in like a group, and I've never felt the need to go to the bathroom with my boyfriends before for like my own safety or anything. So I don't know, like I'm not sure if that's necessarily true. This is not true. Women, the only thing that I could say when it comes to this is that I've seen don't knock it. Well, I mean, like, I'm not saying that it's wrong for them to go to the bathroom with their girlfriends. I'm just saying that, like, I've just never had the need. I've never been like, I need my boys here for while I'm taking a shit. I need them to like hold my hand under the stall or whatever women do when they're in the bathroom together, you know? I've just never had to. I've just never felt the need for that. So I don't really get what they're getting at there, but I don't know. They seem to get along fine most of the time. Like, obviously not all the time, but you know, nobody gets along all the time with everybody. It's just like, sisterhood is very real.
This meme is very real.
I heard a thing, like there a lot of girls are saying that they get on other girls for saying they're not a girl's girl. They're not there for the women. Like you'll get side eyes for not being there to help other women. Honestly, I can feel that. I can see that. Can you hold it for me? I would help hold my friend's dick while he pees, so he can keep a lookout. He can keep an eye over his shoulder. None have never asked me before, but hell yeah. The only thing that I'll say is that would even make me even consider this point would be that some of the most casually, just, I don't know, and it's just that this is just my life personally. Some of the most like casually misogynistic people that I've seen in my life have been women, like to other women, like the girls who are like, like the girls who are like, I don't like other girls. They gossip too much. They talk too much shit. Guys don't do that. They don't even care. Guys just, they don't do stuff that like girls do. They're just chilling. But girls, they just do the most. Too much. I've seen that stuff before. Or like girls who are like, I don't like being friends with women. And I'm just like, what the hell? What are you talking about? Women seem pretty cool. But apparently they disagree. Women are sometimes their worst enemies. Yeah, so I've definitely seen that happen, and that's definitely real, and it happens a decent amount. I don't know, like I know in high school and in college, I heard that a decent amount from like random ass girls. Though, like it'll honestly also be unprompted, which is crazy to me. Like they just needed they just found a reason to say it. They just needed to let you know that they don't like being friends with other women. Like, cool, good for you. No one asked that. No, it's part of patriarchal control turning us against each other. It is much harder for a whole group to fight for their freedom if you have them squabble amongst each other and not actually band together for a single push of their freedom from oppression. There do be internalized misogyny. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Have you seen if I have any other like young people in here about my age? Do you remember in high school? Did that happen? Did you have girls who just say a bunch of that shit all the time? I want to know if it was just me and the type of women that I went to school with, but I'd be like, what? I had to call some girls out on their misogyny. I was like, I guess like the guys that I was around, they didn't do much misogyny. The girls though, they went crazy sometimes with that shit. It was wild. It blew my mind. They made me nervous. When the femmes don't go to the bathroom alone, leaves the door open to being assaulted and cornered. Okay. But that personally, that's just like why I carry 2 knives to the bathroom every time. 2 knives specifically because if I lose the first knife, I'll have the second knife. Or you can fake them out by throwing the first knife and then they think, it's time to kill this guy since he threw his knife. And that's when you go, oh no, don't kill me. Oh no, please call an ambulance, but not for me. And then you pull out the second knife. I bring 2 guns with me. You can bring 2 guns and 2 knives.
At the large scale, women view themselves as a collective and try to endorse their collective interest. No such mechanism exists in men. Remember, men do not have an in-group preference. By in-group,
whatever happened to boys being boys? Like isn't that an in-group preference? When women are like, you've like assaulted me, they're like, boys will be boys. Or what about like literally anything? What about like guys listening to this video right now about how to talk to women, or like what like the differences between like men and women and like the problems men go through They're listening to you right now, a guy. How many of these types of people who listen to these videos listen to women talking about these issues? You know what I mean? Like it's just men listening to men about what men think about men's interactions with women, and men listening to men about what men think women like or say or think or believe or how they go about the world, and they don't listen to what women have to say about women's lives, about their own, literal own lives. It's just like it's all just men talking to other men about how to talk to women. No, like all of this stuff is literally just that.
Preference, that is what is meant. Women will look at themselves as a collective, receiving the benefits of a collective, but that is not something that men ever do. And why is this a huge weakness and a bigger weakness than the big head, little head dilemma? Well, it's simple. Whether it's greater expenditures for medical care, more scholarships, school system tailored to their needs, and the list is endless, is because they can't think for themselves collectively. At the individual level.
Okay, but what about like hiring discrimination and assault? What about like hiring discrimination and like not being seen as like as capable or smart, or like the myriad, the list is endless about things that women have to deal with in society. What about all that stuff instead? You know, like I guess like sure I guess there are more outward women movements than outward men movements, but like there already is an overarching men movement. It's just like the way society is built and has been built. Like women had to work into it and then build structures to be able to uphold their rights. Men just were born into it or made the system to exclude them specifically. So like I don't know what you're talking. It's so weird to me when people from like dominant groups from like so the people who are like born into or grow to be a part of more like non-oppressed or non-marginalized groups are like, I can't, like, it's so wacky that these marginalized communities band together and push for their own interests. Why do they do that and we haven't? I don't know, because you haven't needed to. There's no reason for you to, and still no reason for you to. The only time that I would ever like think that there's an actual need or reason for men to band together is honestly most of the time to defend ourselves against other men who are doing insane shit, you know? And obvious and obviously like everybody has the potential of harming somebody or doing something bad for them. Women as well. Women are dangerous and scary, and you need to be careful around them. And you should have a level of fear around women. They're not innocent little butterfly creatures that could not harm a fly. They harm many flies. I've seen many women who've harmed many flies, honestly. And big and scary. You don't even have to be big to be scary. You can simply just be scary. Honestly, sometimes the scariest things come in the smallest packages. Roaches? Yeah, one crawling up your leg.
Well, they might not be able to stand each other, but that's not how they approach it. They vote as a collective. They act as a collective.
What do you mean they vote as a collective? Women, what are you talking about? Women, do men not vote as a collective? Men who vote like mostly for Republicans in like every single state. In every single state, men as a demographic vote more for Republicans because Republicans are more for men's interests over women's.
When it comes to the bigger picture. Smaller scale,
what's the bigger picture?
Now, men, again, are the opposite. Men cooperate at a local level. They do not cooperate with each other at the macroscopic level as a collective.
How many men are in Congress right now? Compared to women? Don't women make up the majority of the human beings in America? Like in the United States of America, if you were to pick out a random human being, it's more likely than not going to be a woman. But like, you cannot say the same thing about like CEOs or business leaders or people on boards or doctors or literally anything, mostly. But okay, I guess.
There's no brotherhood of men encompassing billions of men. And there are good evolutionary reasons for that. Because
yes, there is. Have you... What do you ever heard of? I mean, like outside of America, like ever heard of like a lot of the Muslim world? where women are literally second class, where maybe 100, at minimum hundreds of million of women are literal second class citizens by law. But okay, whatever, I guess.
Men do exist in a state of reproductive competition. So do women, but there's a high likelihood that even when they're collectivizing, women are still going to get knocked up and get pregnant. With men, it's not the case. Remember, women are much more successful on average reproductively.
I don't know. I've seen some men get knocked up. I've seen some men get pregnant. Have you seen the dick riding that guys are doing to other guys? Have you ever seen any like Andrew Tate's fans? Look at those guys and tell me that they're not trying their hardest to get pregnant from that man. Be honest.
Than most men are. So there's no downside really to organizing collectively and representing yourself collectively when it comes to large-scale society. Supporting men as a collective, on the other hand, could create certain disadvantages for men that would otherwise be very successful reproductively speaking, and men don't want that kind of competition. And that's a huge difference. Everything we see, all the advancements, all the advantages, have been given to women by men because of the little head, big head problem.
Wait, does he think that like things like affirmative action and anti-assault initiatives exist because men are trying to get... Holy crap, brother, you know that you can do other things with women besides have sex with them, right? You could just like care about, you could just like, I don't know. Like I've always been sensitive to like the plight of women and what they've gone through. I have a lot of women in my family, so I've always been around them. And I've just like grown up seeing womanhood, honestly. But I don't know, the like as somebody who's like in a relationship now, I don't know, I have noticed that over time I've gotten more sensitive to like what women go through. As more women are in my life. And it's just I don't know, it's just weird. Honestly, a lot of my friend groups are made of women, and it's just like I do nice things for them. I go driving. Sometimes I'm the one driving. Sometimes I pay for stuff, not because I want to gadoing boing with their bahanga lunga dingas in with a Yahoo whippy yippee Yahoo whatever fucking word that he wants to make up for, say, sex and woman and pussy. Pee-pee. Sometimes I just think it's because they're human beings and I like to be nice to them because they're fellow living creatures. You know? Sometimes I could just like say hello to a woman. I would like to be nice to her because I think like saying hello would be nice in this. Oh no. Your friends are made of women, you say? Some of them definitely. Some of them are definitely woman-pilled.
But the reason why they were even asked for is because of the weakness of men and their inability to organize on a macroscopic collective scale in the same way that women do quite effectively.
My thing is like, what do men have to do? Like, why would men be like, if I guess in his world where men aren't organizing against women or against women's interests in like a more macro level, why, like, what do I have to, like, why should I organize for my rights or something over women's or whatever? Like, what do I need that I need to take from women? That's my biggest thing is like, what do I need to take from women here? You know, like what do women have that I want or need? I'm just thinking about this because I'm not sure if that's been a question that's been answered yet. Like, what do women have that I want or need? You know, I don't know. We need collective action. We need collective action against women. We need a. Oh yeah. We need to work. We need to free ourselves from women oppression. Yeah, there's a strike. Women are in there. Their rights are unfair, plotting their oppression. Yeah, we need a men's revolution against the women. Like, what do I want from women? Autonomy. What would he say? Punani? Yippee wahoo? Is that what we need to do? We need to have a whole movement about how women should have more sex, how women should suck my caca more. Is that it? A yippee yahoo? That's what we need. Men's suffrage. The thing is, there is like kind of men's suffrage, but like these type of guys aren't really a part of it. It's more like feminists who are out there working on like fathers' rights in behalf in like family court that they've been doing a great job with. But these guys just don't. I don't know. All these guys just don't kind of care. It's super weird. Yeah, it's history, not herstory. So true. I've never heard anything more true in my entire goddamn life. Women just need to give me their yippee yahoos. It's true. It's true. I mean, you know what they say? You know what some people say? They say women are like the gatekeepers to like yippee yahoo, pee pee sucky. So I think that's what we need to do. We need to stop women's monopoly on pee pee sucky because it's destroying it's destroying the world. Simpology has taught us that this is something that would lead to weak men. We indeed need to say that. It's true. It's true. It's true. They are the chess masters. It's true. They're shooting chess pieces out of their pussy and we're still nibbling on checkered pieces. And honestly, it's time to stop. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.